that Michael would still be here today.
My feeling is that the little boy I met in 1968 was so special. And I hate what happened to him.
Serving the Ozarks, Thursdays on Ozarks First. The Ozarks First Sports Report is sponsored by Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks.
Straight ahead here tonight at 9, a new measure being pushed in Missouri that would eliminate vehicle safety inspections for most vehicles. We're taking a look at the measure and how it could affect you out on the roadways. And a first-hand account of a fiery crash that shut down I-44 in Springfield. Got the details after a semi crashed and went up in flames. And then later,
Going to make a deal. You're going to be finding out over the next probably 10 days.
President Trump pushing Iran to make a deal or face the consequences. We're breaking down the negotiations as tensions ramp up in the Middle East. Your News at 9 starts right now.
This is Ozarks First News at 9.
You might be dealing with something that you're not sure of and you don't really know what the protocol is.
Well, some auto experts are voicing concerns tonight about a proposal to eliminate vehicle safety inspections for most vehicles in Missouri. Great to see you here tonight for your News at 9. I'm Mike Landis. Now, that legislation has made strides toward becoming a law, passing out of the Missouri House just several days ago. Ozarks First, Michael McLaughlin live for us in Springfield tonight. And Michael, you talked to some shops around the city about what this could mean for safety out there on the roadways.
Yeah, Mike, so as it stands currently right now, any vehicle with over 150,000 miles on it or over 10 years of age is required to get these inspections. This bill would completely remove that, which I'm told could be an issue moving forward.
I think everyone can agree that it's troublesome to have to get your vehicle inspected, but looking at data, there's about 10 to 21% per 100,000 less death rates in accidents with states that actually do motor vehicle inspections.
Lawmakers argue that inspections have little to no impact on road safety, but Mike Riston with U.S. Automotives believes that they can keep drivers from harm. It's also easier and more affordable option, he says, for most people without auto expertise, usually costing $12 and may be able to catch the small problem before it turns into a large one. Now, this bill does offer two exceptions that would merit an inspection. One is for salvage vehicles that have been rebuilt, and the other is for those determined as unsafe by law enforcement. There's also a provision in the bill that would require certain inspections for vehicles originally titled in other states. Now, Kevin Schmidt with Ken Owens Auto Service also raised concerns, saying that newer cars with less miles aren't immune to issues and that inspections can find these problems most don't normally notice. He tells me that Springfield's expired tag ordinance could keep people coming to get their vehicle up to date.
If they're not having to get them inspected, then yeah, I would think that they probably would get more license, done. But they're enforcing it quite a bit more, so I've seen some more people, trying to get their cars inspected closer to time when they're due instead of letting them lapse.
Now, this bill does need to pass the state Senate and governor's office before it can become a law. Reporting live in Springfield, I'm Michael McLaughlin, Ozarks First.
All right, thank you, Michael. We'll keep watching that here at 9:03 with a live check of our forecast here in the Ozarks. This is a live look over the skies of downtown Springfield. Pretty windy out there. You see things are pretty shaky. You certainly felt it if you're out there on the roadways today or trying to take a walk or whatever you were doing outdoors. We're going to check in with Jamie in the forecast center. Jamie, windy, but I'm also noticing things are chillier right now than they have been at the 9 o'clock hour for the last several days.
Yeah, the strong winds are now blowing in colder air too. Looking at the wind gusts here over the last hour or so, or at least in the latest report coming in at 9 o'clock, you can see we've still got some gusts approaching, if not topping, 40 miles per hour. Vichy recently reporting a gust to 43 miles per hour. Here in Springfield, a gust to 36 miles per hour. And if you've been outside this evening, you can still hear that wind blowing through the treetops. Occasionally, your house may creak as one of those stronger gusts hits the house. Temperatures also getting colder, still milder over our eastern counties, while it feels a little bit more like late winter over our western counties. Temperatures have dropped to 36 in Springfield and will drop below freezing after midnight tonight. In fact, it looks like a morning low around 24 degrees. We will find a bright day on Friday, but it will be our coldest day of this week with afternoon highs near 50 degrees, and a cold weekend will follow. This will be the coldest round of weather our area has seen since the beginning of February. But it looks like it's just a cold snap. We will find warmer weather returning next week. Mike.
All right, thank you, Jamie. Now turning to some news out of Hollywood tonight with Eric Dane, the actor best known for his role as Dr. Mark Sloan on the hit medical series Grey's Anatomy, has died at the age of 53. Now, back in April of 2025, Dane revealed that he had been diagnosed with ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. Despite the diagnosis, Dane continued working and speaking publicly about the disease. His family announced his death earlier tonight, saying he spent his final days surrounded by friends and family. Well, some realtors here in Missouri are vowing to find a proposed amendment to the state constitution that would make it harder to pass petition-based amendments. Mark Zinn was in the courtroom for today's proceedings and explains how it could affect the November ballot.
At issue is the language that will appear on the ballot for a proposed constitutional amendment that deals with proposed constitutional amendments. At a trial Thursday, lawyers for the realtors said the wording used in the proposed ballot question is misleading. They're asking the court to either rewrite it or throw it out.
You're basically negating the requirements in Article 12 and substantively amending Article 12.
But a lawyer representing Secretary of State Denny Hoskins disagreed.
On its face, this does not amend any other article. It only changes the language of a single article of the Constitution.
This ballot question will appear as Amendment 4 in the November election. Voters will also decide on other statewide ballot questions, including proposed amendments dealing with abortion and another on the election of county assessors. And then there's the list of pending initiatives that could be on the 2026 ballot, including the referendum campaign on redistricting, which has yet to be certified. And as for this case, the judge didn't indicate when he would have a ruling on Amendment 4's ballot language. In Jefferson City, I'm Mark Zinn.
And now for an update to that breaking news story we brought you last night. The scene on I-44 near the 65 interchange as a semi-truck crashed and went up in flames. That incident leading to the interstate being closed for several hours, traffic backups for several miles. The crash left 2 people injured, one of them trapped inside the burning cab of one of the semis involved. Jessica Rezak was headed home when a semi hit another truck right in front of her, blowing the trailer apart and ripping its fuel tank. Already on fire as it slid toward her vehicle. And that's when she jumped into action.
Over the barrier and tried to open the door, the handle, and it was locked. And I just kept screaming at him to open the door. I broke the window with the hammer and then he helped me get the driver out.
Authorities, including MoDOT, the Highway Patrol, and the Greene County Sheriff's Office, all say they're still investigating what caused the accident. We'll update the story as we learn more at ozarksfirst.com. And we have more than just news to share with you. Plenty more, including some fun videos and interactive stories on our social media pages and news from across the Ozarks. You can find it on X, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, as well as our free news and weather apps, and, of course, ozarksfirst.com. Coming up, dozens of countries gathering in Washington today for Trump's Board of Peace. what they talked about and how it involves their plan for Gaza. Then later on in the show.
So far, with what's been reported to us, we've got about 3 crimes committed from different locations.
And some answers trickling in to involving a vandalism and burglary case in Buffalo. Why an arrest may lead to a break-in, not just one, but 2 different crimes.
And when you look at the calendar, you see that it is still just February. I know we've had a lot of warm weather here as of late, but we've got to deal with some late winter cold going into the weekend. Wind chills tomorrow morning in a lot of the area in the teens. A cold weekend forecast coming up.
This is Ozarks First News at 9 with Mike Landis, Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner, and Sports with Dan Lucy. The Ozarks First Storm Tracker, sponsored by Multiply Credit Union.
Menards 11% rebate is here. From lighting to lumber, from doors to floors. The bigger the project, the bigger the rebate. Morton Water Softener's Wi-Fi integration allows for tracking and alerts, putting you in control of your water. This water softener is a value of $577.96 after rebate. We have a great selection of Richmond electric and gas water heaters ready to take home today. This tankless water heater is a value of $1049.99 after rebate. Hurry in, the 11% rebate is here.
Save big money at Menards.
If you've been searching for an alternative to suffering with dentures, I've got a great solution for you. I'm Dr. Grant Olson, and at Innovative Dental Implant Center, an Innovative Implant Smile will give you back the smile that you love and let you eat the foods you want with a premium set of natural-looking teeth screwed in on implants that doesn't come in and out. To learn more about this life-changing Innovative Implant Smile, visit innovativeimplantsmile.com or give us a call at 417-889-4746.
Welcome to the Lake of the Ozarks. Hi, I'm Jordan Salisbury, the owner and founder of the Salisbury Real Estate Team and Salisbury Property Management. Born and raised here at Lake of the Ozarks, I've loved growing up here, and I'm now raising my young family here.
I don't see any fish.
I've been selling the lake for almost 20 years, and we specialize in selling and managing lakefront property. So whether you're buying like a local, staying like a local, we want you to live like a local.
When you need it built strong and built right too, call Fair and True. We're the team for you. From dream to design, from start to the end, we build it with care like we would for a friend. Honest through and through. Homes, officer, they're that brand new deck. We show up on time and we earn your respect. Craftsmanship solid and pricing that's fair with Fair and True Construction. We're already there.
Coming up tomorrow on Unscripted, we'll visit with comedian John Crist ahead of his big show at Hammond's Hall tomorrow night.
And it's Maddie's birthday, and we have a few surprises up our sleeves, including some treats, food, and fun from some of her favorite local restaurants. See you tomorrow.
Braden Smith leads Purdue against rival Indiana.
Bam! Friday on Ozarks First, Fox 49.
Otherwise, bad things happen.
President Trump delivering that threat to Iran if they don't make a deal to shut down its nuclear program, and backing that up with the threat of firepower. The ultimatum coming after Trump ordered the largest buildup of U.S. military, air, and naval assets in the Middle East since before the Iraq War. But Iran seems undeterred, the country holding military drills with Russia in the Gulf of Oman.
Facts are not on their side, time is not on their side, and they'd be wise to listen to the president and come to the table with a real deal.
Well, the U.S. is also demanding the regime stop funding armed groups like Hamas in Gaza and Hezbollah in Lebanon. The push comes after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel will retaliate if Iran strikes his country. And meanwhile, President Trump's Board of Peace meeting for the first time today in Washington, D.C. to provide a status check on the Gaza peace plan, with more than 40 countries represented here as President Trump announced the funding pledge so far to rebuild Gaza amid a shaky ceasefire deal.
All of these countries are working together around the vision of a Middle East that is free from the curse of extremism and terror.
We have a long ways to go. There's a lot of work that remains. It will require the contribution of every nation state represented here today.
President Trump says the U.S. will commit $10 billion to the board, adding to the $7 billion already pledged. The UN estimates it will take $70 billion to reconstruct Gaza. Heading to break here at 9:13 on this Thursday night. Very windy out there, and you'll notice it's getting chillier. Jamie's going to let us know how far the temperatures are about to drop before things finally warm back up for us. Stay with us.
In the era of AI, the world needs real hands, real heart, real skill. At Midwest Technical Institute, you'll learn to build, repair, and care. You'll gain skills that matter, skills that can't be replaced by AI. Trade up to purpose. Trade up to possibility. Trade up to trade school. Learn more at midwesttech.edu.
Where's our car?
Call my agent.
I'm on it.
We're covered for this?
That's why you chose auto owners. We work together to get the right coverage. So when the unexpected happens, you know you're covered.
That's simple human sense. Now, how do we get to the airport?
Your chariot awaits.
Ask Mid-America Specialty Markets in Lee Summit, O'Fallon, and Springfield if auto owners make sense for you.
Yahtzee Custom Structures, a trusted barn builder since 2005. We specialize in post-frame buildings and custom-built homes. So if you're looking for a long-lasting and well-designed pole barn, a custom-built home, a hobby shop, or an elegant and durable barn dominium, give us a call. We even do commercial properties. We offer fully staffed crews to ensure customers' projects will be started and finished within a reasonable time frame. And we stock our own quality lumber and supplies, so there are no delays with third-party vendors. Your next building is closer than you think with Yahtzee Custom Structures.
Every day, we push harder, train longer, prepare to be more on the field, the court, and the diamond. At Multiply Credit Union, we believe in that same drive. We're here to help our members grow together, live fully, and be more in every stage of life. Multiply Credit Union, proud to be the official credit union of Mizzou Athletics.
Leaky pipes, clogged drains, toilet or water heater troubles, all could be signs of bigger problems. Junior's Plumbing, your residential plumbing experts, are here to help. Fast, honest, and reliable service at reasonable prices. Always done right the first time. From drips to disasters, we fix it all. We're also offering low price specials on water heater replacements. Call Junior's Plumbing today or scan the toilet. Don't despair. Junior's there.
Thanks, Junior's Plumbing.
Well, the winds certainly howled throughout the afternoon hours, and they continue to howl outside right now, sustained at 17 miles per hour. Recently, we've had gusts back over 40 miles per hour. Highest gust today in Springfield that I could find, at least in the observations, 45 miles per hour earlier this afternoon. Joplin had a peak gust of 47 miles per hour. So we're kind of into that time of the year now as we get into early spring when we can get these big windstorms that blow through the area. And sometimes they produce severe weather. Thankfully, the timing was not such that we had to contend with severe weather, but folks off to the east, over toward Illinois and Indiana, it has been an active afternoon. Now, we did enjoy some warm weather today. Areas along and east of Highway 65 in the 70s. In fact, warm enough for record highs, at least in West Plains. West Plains hit 75, topping a record that went back to 1981, beating that record by a couple of degrees. We were 4 degrees off the record high here in Springfield and only 1 degree off the record high in the Raleigh-Vichy area, hitting 75 there. Skies are generally clear in our area, and you can see off to the east that active weather that I was talking about there across Illinois, Indiana, and now getting into Ohio. Strong to severe thunderstorms, and a few of these storms have produced tornadoes today, and a tornado risk continues across Indiana into Ohio at this hour. Locally for us, the big concern was fire. We had not only strong winds, but we also had very dry air wrap in across southwest Missouri and northwest Arkansas, really boosting that fire danger. That's why earlier today we had a red flag warning. That has since been lifted. Right now also, those strong winds are blowing in cold air. And it looks like that door is now going to be left open. Just like if you left the refrigerator door open, the door is going to be left open to Canada. And waves of cold air are going to drop into the middle of the country, making for a cold weekend. Let's take a look at the hour-by-hour forecast, at least for tonight and tomorrow. And for tonight, I think we're going to hold on to mostly clear skies. Tomorrow also looks very bright. We're going to find mostly sunny skies from start to finish. Now, I think that there could be a bit more cloud cover by the end of the day here towards, say, Stockton and Joplin, maybe Neosho up toward Nevada, in this area right here. And that will be the leading edge of some clouds that may come with a rain or snow shower risk overnight Friday night. Temperatures tonight dropping below freezing. Looks like we're down to 24 for our morning low with a wind chill of 14 to start the day. Yeah, there's February weather, and we're going to find some of that tomorrow afternoon too. Winds won't be as strong though. That's good. Areas north of I-44 topping out in the upper 40s, south of I-44 low to mid 50s. And our weekend forecast looks even colder. 45 on Saturday, 22 for a morning low on Sunday with an afternoon high of 42. Temperatures through the weekend running 5 to 15 degrees below normal. It looks like our coldest weather will come Monday morning with morning lows in the teens across much of the area. But spring warmth does make a quick return. In fact, we start turning it around by Tuesday with highs up near 60. I think that's going to come with filtered sunshine, a lot of high cloudiness that day. More of the same on Wednesday, but a bit warmer with a high of 66. And then come Thursday of next week, we clear out most of the clouds, but we hold on to those 60s. It looks like the mild spell will last, I think, Mike, through the end of next week and maybe into the following weekend.
Yeah, it'll be not too bad. I mean, those 40 degrees is going to feel pretty chilly compared to what we've had. Overnights look like those could be kind of rough, though.
Yeah, this is going to be the coldest weather that we've had about 2 weeks.
Yeah. All right, we'll make it through. Thank you very much, Jamie. And be sure to check out our new app called Ozarks First Plus, where you can watch not only our daily newscasts, but also new original shows hosted by our team here at Ozarks First. Here's today's show from Bailey.
On how religious is your state? And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I was interested to find that, spoiler alert, Missouri falls in the dead middle of every single little topic here. 20th, okay. Well, a little bit higher.
Well, that's the thing. 20th in overall religiousness.
In overall
but then
religiousness.
I think as I kind of went through them.
Yeah, it's like 23,
20,
24.
One of them literally was 25.
The highest wouldn't have, if you would have, I know you already saw it, but if you would have thought about it, what would you think it would have been?
Oh, for overall? Yeah,
I would have thought
have...
Arkansas.
Really? Okay.
Alabama,
yeah,
maybe?
I hadn't thought that much about it, but yeah.
Mississippi.
Yeah.
South Dakota, number 3.
That is a wild one. How many people are even up there? I guess
Yeah.
that's North Dakota. Anyway.
Yeah. Least religious.
Yeah.
Vermont,
which again, sorry, how many people are there? I don't.
Yeah, it doesn't get talked
Feel
about a
like-
lot. You don't hear about Vermont
Yeah, it
a
doesn't
whole
talk.
lot. You hear about Missouri more than you hear about Vermont.
Yeah.
New Hampshire, Maine, D.C.
So I hadn't looked at this. It's
So-
out of 51.
Well, interesting numbers there. You can download Ozarks First Plus for free on your smart TV and find that on Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, as well as Roku. Still ahead here tonight after the break, a senior British royal arrested for the first time in nearly 400 years. Why he's being released and the reason he was arrested in the first place. When your news at 9 returns.
Coming up tomorrow after daybreak on Unscripted, we'll visit with comedian John Crist ahead of his big show at Hammond's Hall tomorrow night.
And it's Maddie's birthday. We've got a few surprises up our sleeves, including some treats, food, and fun from some of her favorite local restaurants. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning after daybreak.
Carissa Cordell, weekday mornings on Ozarks First.
I got some ideas.
Okay.
Time out? No. Time in. I feel like mascots should affect the over-under.
Ooh, betting in space?
All customers choose your own reward today.
Once a year, a rhythm thunders across the countryside. It can't be tamed. It can only be driven. It's Ford Truck Month. Let's ride. These trucks, they haul, tow, and conquer everything in their path. So hold on tight and drive the Stampede.
You can't sit still when there's a stampede of savings at your local Ford dealer. Hurry in to get the best deals of the year on a built Ford Tough truck.
Get to Ford Truck Month.
This is bad. You're going to need a whole list of things to make this repair.
Can I see that?
National companies treat every home the same, with a laundry list of unnecessary work and items at a massive expense to you.
Better safe than sorry. Am I right?
At Smouse Brothers, we know that every home is unique and needs to be treated differently. Call the Smouse Brothers today for an honest estimate.
If you've been thinking your house may be sinking, get a Smouse under your house.
Searching for back pain relief? iSense does that. 84% of iSense sleepers reported back pain relief sleeping on our award-winning smart beds made right here in Springfield. Our Comfort Control technology lets you adjust each side of the bed for you and your partner with a touch of a button for perfect support and comfort. Take control of your comfort. Visit our Springfield store today.
Every journey needs a guide. You've tried doing this solo. Each time the scale has gone the wrong way, you carried the fight alone. That stops now. At Apex Life, you get a plan and a partner, someone who reaches down when you struggle and pulls you back up. Real support, real results, real partnership. Our January pricing is just $2.99, including medication and coaching. Go to apexlifeclinic.com today for your free consultation. Apex Life, let's climb together.
The NASCAR Cup Series heads to Atlanta, where the peaches are sweet and donuts are sweeter.
Sunday on Ozarks First, Fox 49.
Former Prince Andrew leaving a police station in London on Thursday night, released under investigation just hours after he was arrested. Stephanie Bennett has more on those details for us tonight.
Do you have any reaction to the arrest of your brother, sir?
King Charles III keeping up a public schedule at London Fashion Week after his younger brother, former Prince Andrew's arrest. The King saying the law must take its course.
The reality is that no one is untouchable in terms of the law. In the UK, and that includes members of the royal family.
Andrew was taken into custody on his 66th birthday on suspicion of misconduct in public office. It comes after emails to Jeffrey Epstein allegedly show him sharing confidential government documents, including details of official trips he took while serving as Britain's trade envoy.
It's going to hinge on how serious a breach of duty was this. Is the public trust threatened by what he did? Was there harm? And was this information, though, inherently confidential?
The former prince is the first senior British royal to be arrested in nearly 400 years. He was previously stripped of his titles, but continues to live on the family's private Sandringham estate,
which indirectly is funded by the British taxpayer. So I wonder how much more the British public will tolerate this sort of leech essentially living on the public purse.
The new allegations are separate from those made by Virginia Guthrie, who claimed she had been trafficked to Britain to have sexual relations with Andrew. She died by suicide last year. In a statement, her family reacted to the arrest, saying, quote, "He was never a prince. For survivors everywhere, Virginia did this for you." Andrew has previously denied any wrongdoing in relation to Epstein. In London, Stephanie Bennett, Fox News.
And now back here in the Ozarks, Buffalo police officers are making quick work of a break-in and property damage investigation. An arrest in what they say was a string of crimes in a short amount of time. Tonight, Jamal Poole has been charged with burglary and property damage felonies, all connected with breaking into a building on February 9th, just north of the town square. And he admitted to police that he and another man were simply bored. The next night, police were called to Boland Automotive for an arson, just blocks away from the first break-in. Police Chief Chad Garner says while Poole has not been formally charged in that case, he admitted to it during the interviews.
Jamal openly admitted in the interviews that he was committed these crimes, and we're just trying to get all these things wrote up and submitted to the prosecutor's office for review.
Buffalo police are looking for another man in connection to these cases. We have details on him and what you should do if you have any information about it on this story online at ozarksfirst.com. Still ahead tonight in our second half hour, if you're planning on fishing on Table Rock this year, there's some new rules you might want to know about. We have those coming up.
Join the fun with Tom Turton, only on Unscripted.
If you've been searching for an alternative to suffering with dentures, I've got a great solution for you. I'm Dr. Grant Olson, and at Innovative Dental Implant Center, an Innovative Implant Smile will give you back the smile that you love and let you eat the foods you want with a premium set of natural-looking teeth screwed in on implants that doesn't come in and out. To learn more about this life-changing Innovative Implant Smile, visit innovativeimplantsmile.com or give us a call at 417-889-4746.
Chef Daniel is back from Italy with amazing new flavors. At Salvatore's in Ozark, enjoy authentic Italian dishes made from scratch, including our famous homemade pasta and savory gluten-free sauces. We've combined your Ozark favorites with exciting Italian inspirations. From raviolis to baked pastas, everyone will find something to love. Experience Italy in Ozark at freshsalvatores.com.
In the era of AI, the world needs real hands, real heart, real skill. At Midwest Technical Institute, you'll learn to build, repair, and care. You'll gain skills that matter, skills that can't be replaced by AI. Trade up to purpose. Trade up to possibility. Trade up to trade school. Learn more at midwesttech.edu.
In the Ozarks, comfort isn't seasonal, it's essential. At Patriot Heat and Air, we're here year-round, keeping families comfortable through summer heat and winter cold with expert American Standard solutions. The Patriot's about more than heating and cooling. It's about heart, hard work, dependability, and doing what's right, even when no one's watching. That's why we were honored with the Better Business Bureau's Torch Award for Ethics, because integrity matters to us, and it matters to the families we serve. Patriot quality assures value. Our people make the difference.
Austin Hill aims for his third straight Atlanta win, while the rest of the field looks to keep him out of the winner's circle.
He's done when I get to him.
The NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, this Saturday at 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific on the CW.
Braden Smith leads Purdue against rival Indiana.
Friday on Ozarks First, Fox 49.
Welcome back here for our second half hour. I'm Mike Landis with some of the top stories we're covering for you here tonight at Ozarks First. First up, Missouri realtors pushing back in the Missouri Capitol, fighting a proposed amendment that would make it harder to pass petition-based amendments going forward. The issue is in the language appearing on the ballot, with lawyers arguing the wording is misleading for voters. The ballot question will appear as Amendment 4 in the November election, along with amendments dealing with abortion and another on the election of county assessors. Now in a follow-up, police in Buffalo are working to solve several cases of property damage, arson and burglary from earlier this month. Jamal Poole has been charged for breaking into and damaging a business that's under renovation north of the downtown square. In a police interview, Poole also admitted to committing arson at another business just blocks away from the first one. Police say they're looking for a second suspect in the cases and asking the public to reach out if they have any details. And a terrifying crash on I-44 near the 65 interchange in North Springfield left two semi-truck drivers injured, one trapped inside of a burning cab. It was the action from a witness who jumped a barrier, broke a window, and helped pull that driver out just seconds before flames took over. Police in Springfield say the cause of the collision is still under investigation.
You might be dealing with something that you're not sure of, and you don't really know what the protocol is.
Some local auto experts are voicing their concerns about a proposed bill that would eliminate vehicle safety inspections for cars and trucks. That legislation has made significant strides toward becoming law, passing out of the Missouri House days ago. Ozarks First Michael McLaughlin live for us in Springfield. And Michael, you talked to some auto shops around the city about what this could mean for safety out there on the roadways.
Right, so as it stands currently now, Mike, any vehicle that's over 10 years of age or has over 150,000 miles on it would be required for inspection. This bill would completely remove that requirement, with lawmakers arguing that there's no correlation between that and roadway safety. However, those I spoke to say that this could actually be an issue moving forward. Mike Riston with U.S. Automotive.
Everyone can agree that it's troublesome to have to get your vehicle inspected, but looking at data, there's about 10 to 21% per 100,000 less death rates in accidents with states that actually do motor vehicle inspections.
He tells me for most people, it's easier and more affordable to take it into a shop.
Where you're going to get your car somewhat inspected for $12. And so that is something that can also help the community as it sits right now in safety, catching a small problem before it turns into a large problem.
Kevin Schmidt with Ken Owens Auto Service also raises concerns, saying inspections can find problems most people don't normally notice.
A lot of people don't maintain their cars like they ought to, and the only time that they really get looked at is when the inspection's done.
He believes, however, this would help with Springfield's new towing ordinance on expired tags.
Well, if they're not having to get them inspected, then yeah, I would think that they probably would get more license, done. They're enforcing it quite a bit more, so I've seen some more people, trying to get their cars inspected closer to time when they're due instead of letting them elapse.
And if people want to inspect their cars themselves, both Schmidt and Riston recommend checking these things before getting onto the road.
When we do oil changes and things like that, we go ahead and check brakes and a lot of fasteners and stuff to make sure everything's attached good.
So wiper blades, cracks in the windshield that messes up the driver's vision in a vision area, or something that's going to be a safety concern where it would collapse. Tire tread depth has a minimum requirement. Front end play has minimum requirements. Serpentine belts that drive power steering, those are checked.
Now, this bill still needs to pass the state Senate and governor's office before it can become law. Reporting live in Springfield, I'm Michael McLaughlin, Ozarks First.
And turning now to our first forecast, Jamie, things have calmed down a little bit out there. Still very windy, but it was actually dangerously windy earlier with some of those warnings out there.
It was the strong winds. Of course, that leads to crosswinds and makes it a little bit tough to drive. But it was also that high fire danger that we're concerned about. Thankfully, though, it appears that we've gotten through this afternoon and that high fire danger unscathed. We also enjoyed some really warm temperatures. And what makes today special and the warmth that we had today is that if you go back exactly 1 year, we were coming off that big snowstorm last February, and on today's date, we had a record low high temperature of 11 degrees. That's not the case today. Today we had sunshine and 71. Set a record high in West Plains of 75. That's a better record this time of the year, right? Looking at the wind gusts across the area, it's still pretty blustery out there. In fact, a few spots still reporting wind gusts to 40 miles per hour. Vichy coming in with a gust over 40 miles per hour here recently. Temperatures also continue to tank after hitting 71 today. We're down to 36. And it looks like by morning we'll be down to 24 with a wind chill of 14. So make sure you have that coat handy for tomorrow morning. We haven't had to use it here lately, but tomorrow we will. Temperatures will climb above freezing by late morning, and in the afternoon we'll top out in the upper 40s. Wind chills will rise into the mid 40s by that point. Looking ahead to the weekend, cold weather. I'll have more on that and some rain and snow chances coming up. Mike.
All right, we'll talk to you then, Jamie. Well, the Missouri House is advancing a measure dealing with industrial hemp and legal marijuana. The bill would create the Intoxicating Cannabinoid Control Act, and that would codify state law to bring it up to speed with recent federal guidelines on hemp. And the move comes after Missouri's Attorney General announced a crackdown on illegal products that claim to be legal hemp. That legislation now heads to the Senate for final consideration. Well, National Institutes of Health Director Jay Bhattacharya taking on an additional role, temporarily serving as the acting director of the CDC. He'll be replacing Deputy Secretary Jim O'Neill, who was dismissed by Health Secretary RFK Jr. last week. The transition is the third shift for the CDC leadership under President Trump's second term. Plans to find a permanent director for the agency are underway, but will require Senate confirmation. Well, if you're planning on fishing at Table Rock Lake this summer, you might want to hear about this. You can now keep smaller spotted bass thanks to new regulations by the Department of Conservation. The minimum length for Kentucky bass is being lowered from 15 to 12 inches come April 30th. You can find more details in this story on our website, ozarksfirst.com. Well, up next, the Winter Games still underway over in Italy. We're detailing the heated rivalry as the U.S. women's hockey team goes against Canada. Stay with us for more on that.
Watch Seinfeld weeknights.
looks like our car.
Wait a minute. It is our car.
Honey, we're good. That's why we chose auto owners. We worked with our agent to get the right coverage so that when the unexpected happens, we know we're covered.
Huh. That's simple human sense.
Ask Mid-America Specialty Markets in Lee Summit, O'Fallon, and Springfield if auto owners make sense for you.
Leaky pipes, clogged drains, toilet or water heater troubles, all could be signs of bigger problems. Junior's Plumbing, your residential plumbing experts, are here to help. Fast, honest, and reliable service at reasonable prices. Always done right the first time. From drips to disasters, we fix it all. We're also offering low price specials on water heater replacements. Call Junior's Plumbing today or scan the toilet. Don't despair. Junior's there.
Thanks, Junior's Plumbing.
Life is full of big moments and the small steps that get you there. At Multiply Credit Union, every deposit means momentum. Every loan, a door opened. Each one, another step towards what's possible. Multiply Credit Union. Grow together. Live fully. Be more.
Coming up tomorrow on Unscripted, we'll visit with comedian John Crist ahead of his big show at Hammond's Hall tomorrow night.
And it's Maddie's birthday, and we have a few surprises up our sleeves, including some treats, food, and fun from some of her favorite local restaurants. See you tomorrow.
Watch the Daily Scroll with Bailey Stroll on Ozarks First Plus.
Not something you see every day on I-44.
Download the app on your Roku, Apple TV, or Fire TV device.
Morning, Mark.
Not sure what's happening under your house? From musty odors to moisture issues and foundation problems. Call us today for your free inspection to come up with a permanent solution.
Here's a live look for you tonight over Milan as the 2026 Winter Olympics are in full swing. Now, athletes taking to the world stage where teams go head-to-head for the gold. Stay tuned right here to Ozarks First as we continue to cover the big games. U.S. women's hockey wins the gold medal against rival Canada with an overtime goal. Our Brianna Hollis was in Milan and has a recap of this historic run.
And what an unbelievable finish for Team USA. An unbelievable game, scoreless in the first period. Canada gets on the board first in the second, and with about 2 minutes left to go in regulation, a shot by Layla Edwards tipped in, redirected by Captain Hillary Knight. This sends us into overtime play, where we have 3-on-3. Megan Keller with the goal to put the U.S. on top in overtime, 2-1, a photo finish for this team, dominant throughout the entire games. Looked to almost falter a little bit here in the gold medal match, but still finding a way to come out on top. Goalie Erin Frankel, unstoppable back there, keeping the U.S. alive. And these ladies take home their first gold medal since 2018. Reporting in Milan, I'm Brianna Hollis.
And don't forget to download our new app called Ozarks First Plus, where you can watch all of our newscasts live, including 6 original shows for you to enjoy. And one of those is called, is a sports show called Put Me In Coach, hosted by Chris Pinson and Jesse Inman. And this week they talked to Chiefs offseason Olympic hockey and even live dangerously on the racetrack. Check it out here.
We got a fun show for you here today. Let's talk U.S. hockey. Men's and women's. Here comes the men. Let's
go, baby.
The men beat Sweden in OT. Women are in a gold medal matchup taking on Canada.
Let's go.
Fierce rival. Let's go, ladies. Bring it home for the U.S.
USA.
Tyler Reddick walking away with the championship there at Daytona. What did you think of the race this weekend?
It was an awesome race, and you know what? The season's going now. It's a long season, and we'll just see what happens.
Chris and I, we saw that awesome finish at Daytona and thought, we've got to get out on the racetrack ourselves. Where are we going to go for this? And the answer to that is incredible food and fun here in Springfield. They've got the go-karts ready to roll for us, Chris.
Yes, they do. And here's the deal. We're going to go against each other 8 laps, First one across the finish line wins the challenge. You're going down, Inman. You're going down, Kingston.
2, 1, go, 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 go.
All right, Chris, see you, dude. Oh, oh boy, keep hitting that thing. Last lap, baby.
You can download Ozarks First Plus for free on your smart TV, finding that on Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, as well as Roku.
And right now we are racing toward the weekend. Got to get through Friday first, though, right? And as we get into the weekend, we got to dig out all that winter weather gear because it's going to be cold. A look at some potential snow shower chances heading into this weekend. More on that coming up.
Kicks it out. Steps back, puts it up. Swish.
Bet all your favorite player props on FanDuel. All customers choose your own reward today.
When you need it built strong and built right too, call Fair and True. We're the team for you. From dream to design, from start to the end, we build it with care like we would for a friend. Honest through and through. Homes, officer, they're that brand new deck. We show up on time and we earn your respect. Craftsmanship solid and pricing that's fair with Fair and True Construction. We're already there.
This is iSense, the world's only mattress with comfort control technology. It adjusts to your exact comfort preference while maintaining support your body needs. No sagging, no compromise. 84% of iSense sleepers report relief from back pain, and it's right here in Springfield.
Before you buy a mattress, experience iSense. Your side, your way.
Visit our showroom on the corner of Battlefield and Fremont.
If you've been searching for an alternative to suffering with dentures, I've got a great solution for you. I'm Dr. Grant Olson, and at Innovative Dental Implant Center, an Innovative Implant Smile will give you back the smile that you love and let you eat the foods you want with a premium set of natural-looking teeth screwed in on implants that doesn't come in and out. To learn more about this life-changing Innovative Implant Smile, visit innovativeimplantsmile.com or give us a call at 417-889-4746.
Welcome to the Lake of the Ozarks. Hi, I'm Jordan Salisbury, the owner and founder of the Salisbury Real Estate Team and Salisbury Property Management. Born and raised here at Lake of the Ozarks, I've loved growing up here, and I'm now raising my young family here.
I don't see any fish.
I've been selling the lake for almost 20 years, and we specialize in selling and managing lakefront property. So whether you're buying like a local, staying like a local, we want you to live like a local.
It's Fox College Hoops Friday.
Welcome to the heart of basketball country.
Cross-state rivals collide as Braden Smith leads Purdue against Indiana.
Bam! Friday on Ozarks First, Fox 49.
See the USA in your Chevrolet. America's asking you to call. Drive your Chevrolet through the USA. America's the greatest land of all.
Get out there and see the USA. Well-qualified buyers can get 1.9% financing on all Chevy Silverado 1500 models. Or current Chevy owners and lessees can get $7,350 total value when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
Well, you know you're about to get into the spring season when you have a storm like we had today move across the region. Packed with wind. It was warm today, but thankfully we didn't have to deal with the rough side of a storm system like this, and that is the severe weather side. There was severe weather off to the east. Clusters of strong to severe storms developing first in the Illinois area and then spreading east across Indiana and Ohio. And there were tornadoes reported at least across parts of Illinois. And you could see all of the hail reports also coming in from those thunderstorms today. Still a sliver of a tornado watch for parts of Indiana that extends into southwestern Ohio. For us locally, here's the surface low located north of I-70 in northeast Missouri. And right now it is not only wrapping in dry air, it's also wrapping in colder air. That colder air has invaded the northwestern half of Missouri. And for folks that are watching right now, maybe in Thayer or Mountain Home, you guys are going to be dealing with the cold too later on tonight. It's going to envelop all of the area. And once the storm moves on by, what it's doing basically is kind of like with your refrigerator door. If you leave it open, it's leaving the door open, and we're going to have these successive shots of cold air that's going to drop into the area. And that's going to keep the weekend pattern cold into Monday of next week. Let's get into that hour-by-hour forecast, because there is some interesting weather, I think, overnight Friday night. For tonight, mostly clear skies. For tomorrow, I think the bulk of the day is either going to be sunny or mostly sunny. Now, by the end of the day, clouds will be increasing from the west, and we're going to have to watch this for maybe some rain or snow showers. Initially, it's kind of borderline, but as the atmosphere kind of cools, we may see more in the way of snow shower activity late in the night, Friday night, and into the hours before sunrise. I don't expect any accumulations, but there is going to be that possibility that some snowflakes could fall from the sky here. Just kind of a sign that, yes, it is still late winter. That system should move off to the east, and the clouds will thin out pretty quickly. Now, this is lunchtime on Saturday. Maybe still partly to mostly cloudy east of Highway 65. Mostly sunny skies developing west of Highway 65. And then during the afternoon, everybody kind of clears out. Looking at temperatures, yeah, that's a little ugly after the warm spell that we've had. 24 for a morning low on Friday. Morning low of 24, wind chill of 14 with an afternoon high of 49 degrees. Cold weather over the weekend, mid-40s on Saturday, low 40s on Sunday. And if you're heading to church that morning, it's going to be a cold one. Low 20s to start the day, as temperatures are going to be running 5 to 15 degrees below normal through the weekend, and even colder weather expected for Monday morning with lows in the teens. But this pattern's not going to last very long, because it looks like that door that's going to be open going into the weekend for cold air to come in out of Canada, it's going to get shut early next week as the pattern flattens out across the jet stream pattern, I should say, flattens out across the nation. And with cold air kind of shut out, mild Pacific air is able to flood much of the lower 48. And the result is much warmer weather very quickly. We're going to go from highs in the low 40s on Monday to highs near 60 on Tuesday. That will come with filtered sunshine. I think quite a bit of cloudiness also on Wednesday. That'll likely hold highs down just like we saw back on Tuesday of this week. Looks like maybe mid-60s for highs. Sunnier weather on Thursday with highs in the 60s. And I think we're going to be able to hold on to this warm mode of winter weather all the way into the following weekend, which is the last weekend of February. Dan?
Coming up in sports, the rivalry is renewed. Drury looking to top the Bearcats at the O.
The Ozarks First Sports Report is sponsored by Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks.
News Nation Saturday.
I'm News Nation's Brian Enton on the ground in Arizona. I'll be answering your questions live as the search for Nancy Guthrie continues.
Missing the Nancy Guthrie mystery. Saturday, 8/7 Central on News Nation.
News Nation Tuesday. President Trump delivers his State of the Union address. Only News Nation has a night of diverse voices and honest perspective with the best political team anywhere. Special coverage Tuesday, 6/5 Central on News Nation.
Menards' 11% rebate is here. From lighting to lumber, from doors to floors. The bigger the project, the bigger the rebate. Improve your home's appearance with Ideal Door. Choose from our in-stock selection or design your own. Get this garage door valued at $549.99 after rebate. For heavy-duty storage that protects your tools, choose Master Force. Now's the time to buy. This garage cabinet system is a value of $1129.98 after rebate. Hurry in, the 11% rebate is here.
Save big money at Menards.
Leaky pipes, clogged drains, toilet or water heater troubles, all could be signs of bigger problems. Junior's Plumbing, your residential plumbing experts, are here to help. Fast, honest, and reliable service at reasonable prices. Always done right the first time. From drips to disasters, we fix it all. We're also offering low price specials on water heater replacements. Call Junior's Plumbing today or scan the toilet. Don't despair. Junior's there.
Thanks, Junior's Plumbing.
It's Fox Fox College Hoops Friday.
Welcome to the heart of basketball country.
Cross-state rivals collide as Braden Smith leads Purdue against Indiana. Bam!
Friday on Ozarks First, Fox 49.
Austin Hill aims for his third straight Atlanta win.
He's done when I get to him.
The NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, this Saturday at 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific.
A fun show today. We're going to talk NFL playoffs. This is not betting advice. You will lose money if you listen to me. We're talking college football championship.
Parity is great for sports, no matter the sport.
A couple of big baseball moves. We're going to be bringing in the outfield fences 10 feet at Kauffman Stadium. Our first ever Put Me in Coach Challenge.
Who runs for fun? This is terrible.
Yeah. And I'll see you next week.
Yeah, we'll see you
next
time.
Put Me in Coach on Ozarks First Plus. Download the app on your Roku, Apple TV, or Fire TV device. The Ozarks First Sports Report is sponsored by Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks.
Missouri State Lady Bears were looking to snap a losing skid tonight. Lady Bears tipping off tonight's game against Liberty on a 2-game losing streak, and now is the time with Missouri State opening up a 4-game homestand. Lady Bears are 7-4 at home this season. In our Bear Nation update, Liberty beat Mo State by 8 2 weeks ago in Virginia, and this was a defensive fight. First quarter, Kamen Beckemeyer with the 3 here to give the Lady Bears a 7-5 lead, but Liberty was rugged inside. Ife Waobi with the loose ball, grabs it, horses it in. It was 21-16 Flames. Late second quarter, Lady Bears make a run. First the look to Kendall Bruggen for the basket. Mo State within 6, and Maisha Washington with the basket here. The game was tied 24-24 at halftime, but any momentum the Lady Bears had, they left in the locker room. Liberty's Emmy Stout winning the fight inside, and it was a 36-28 Flames lead. Then Liberty's Claudia Athene would bank in this long 2, and the Flames outscored the Lady Bears in the third quarter 18-4. Mo State tried. Beckemeyer with the stop and pop 3. She finished with 19, but it wasn't enough. Stout with another basket over the Lady Bear defense. She led the Flames with 15, and Liberty hands Missouri State its third straight loss, 55-43. Just a few miles north of GSB Arena, the Drury Panthers and Southwest Baptist renewed their Highway 13 rivalry. On the women's side, Casey Bailey's Lady Panthers looking for a 10th straight win. Drury junior Sarah Mendel looking for her 20th double-double of the season. That would set a single-season Lady Panther record. It was close early. Drury's Sage Stratton with the 3, 5-3 Lady Panthers. Southwest Baptist answers with Ida Nangonda running the floor, splitting the defense, Bearcats by 4. Drury would make a run. Sarah Mendel with the layup here. It was 13-10 SBU. Then the dish to Mendel again. She would get the basket. And then later the inbounds to Mendel, and then she would kick it out to Josie Story. She hits the 3 here, and we are tied at 15. Sarah Mendel got her double-double, 20 points, a dozen rebounds, sets the single-season record with 20. Lady Panthers win their 10th in a row, 93-81. On the men's side, the Drury Panthers looking to snap a 2-game losing skid, and they do that 80-56. Keyshawn Thomas led Drury with 17. Zach Howe added 16 there. At the Winter Games, you saw the U.S. women's hockey team won gold. Jordan Stouts was looking for gold as well in the 1,500-meter speed skating. He had won 2 golds in the 500 and the 1,000. Stoltz finished, took silver. In the women's curling, United States needed extra, and they beat the Swiss 7-6. They will play the Swiss again on Friday in the semis. Here's a look at your medal count. Norway in first place, but the USA has moved past Italy into second place. Then comes Japan, Germany, and France.
Good to see that we are climbing right up, at least one spot there.
Yeah, tough night for the Lady Bears, though. They did not play well.
All right, thanks so much for joining us. We're back tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Get swept off your feet this February in the $150,000 romantic getaway at Downstream Casino Resort. Bring your sweetie each Sunday at 5 p.m. for a chance to ride into the sunset on a brand new Vespa Primavera. Then join us on Fridays at 10 p.m. for the grand prize drawing, a $10,000 romantic getaway for 2. Paris, Italy, Greece. Where will you choose to take your favorite someone? Get away this February at Downstream Casino Resort. See Q Club for details.
Here's our Fox 49 High School Athlete of the Week.
This week's Athlete of the Week is Elsie Larson. Larson is a senior on the Stratford High School girls basketball team. This season, Larson has been a key leader for the Lady Indians on their 17-game winning streak. At 19-2 overall, Stratford is the top-ranked team in all of Class 4. She was also named the most valuable player at the Pink and White Lady Classic back in December of 2025. Upon graduation, Larson is committed to play for Colorado State. Do you have an Athlete of the Week nomination? Send them in with pictures or videos to dlucy@color10.com. Again, that's dlucy@color10.com. Once again, congrats to this week's Athlete of the Week, Elsie Larson.
Congratulations to our Fox 49 High School Athlete of the Week, sponsored by Midwest Technical Institute.
Dear Winter, we're coming. Our squad of vehicles, with all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, is ready to take you on. Safety's the name of our game. Bundle up. Toyota. Get 2.99% APR on the 2026 Tundra or the 2025 Tacoma for 72 months with $1,000 TFS APR cash. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Searching for back pain relief? iSense does that. 84% of iSense sleepers reported back pain relief, sleeping on our award-winning smart beds, made right here in Springfield. Our Comfort Control technology lets you adjust each side of the bed for you and your partner with a touch of a button for perfect support and comfort. Take control of your comfort. Visit our Springfield store today.
Coming up tomorrow on Unscripted, we'll visit with comedian John Crist ahead of his big show at Hammond's Hall tomorrow night.
And it's Maddie's birthday, and we have a few surprises up our sleeves, including some treats, food, and fun from some of her favorite local restaurants. See you tomorrow.
Welcome to the World Baseball Classic. Aaron Judge, Bryce Harper, the best against the best.
Join the fun with Maddie Conklin, only on Unscripted.
¿Tienes cierta dificultad para respirar?
No, estoy bien. Mi profesor me hubiera dicho que si para esto me entrenaba lo hubiera hecho más seguido.
Sea lo que sea, no lo intentes.
¿Es de la Guerra de las Galaxias?
Yo creo que es del Imperio Ataca Otra Vez.
Oh, por Dios. Estoy en la cama con una bella mujer que cita a Yoda. Te amo, Penny.
Gracias.
De nada. Quería aclarar solo eso.
Sí, no, me alegra.
Sí, bien. Eso está
Sí.
bien.
Ahora, ya se hizo muy tarde. Debemos dormir.